Well, like the drugs that I used to do were just weed, ecstasy, shrooms, and this one time I was with this girl. We were smoking, and I think a friend of hers gave me the weed. Come to find out, it wasn't really technically the weed that I usually buy. It was laced with like cocaine. It was in it. When I took it, it came in like in a few minutes later, and I look at my arm and I start scratching my arm. I'm thinking like, what's happening to my arm? And then I see like little dots of blood coming off of my arm. It was really scary. At that moment, I freaked out. Everything is like blurred on the sides, and everything deepened in front of me. It was a really terrible experience. It was really, I don't want to do that ever again. I don't know why I did that for. Because I was dulled out with my emotions, a lot of things really affected with me and my family. I couldn't tell my parents practically anything at all, just because they were very strict with my sister. I couldn't really tell my dad anything because he's the guy who gave me a lot of my characteristics. Just because how disciplined he is, I feel like he's just gonna tell me one thing and that's gonna be it. A lot of my friends before I met anybody from this church, they were just drug dealers and regular people that I would see once or twice a week that would just came to me just to buy drugs. It was just about drugs. There was never really a feeling of friendship. They just came for the business and business only. I was doing a drop and we had to meet this guy behind like a building, like near in Carroll City. It was pretty sketchy for the least, but he came with a buddy of his. It was a recipient that I used to care for. I gave him the drugs, and his friend was like a little sketchy. He was like twitching back and forth. I don't know what it was. I turned my back. The same time he gave me the money, which I never should have done. He came back behind me and he just stabbed me right there on the side, this big. The tip broke off inside of me and it's still there. It was a bit of a struggle, and during the time, my friend, I was alone at the time, so my friend's in the car waiting for me, probably like a block ahead. He just took off from the stab and then took the rest of the money and the drugs, and that was it. I first heard about First Priority Bible Club from, I think it was Jasmine or Charity. They were passing out like these tiny paper flyers, and I thought, it's just a regular Bible club. I'm not gonna go to it. It's no big point. I have things to do after school. Obviously, it's drug related. And I decided one day, I just went anyway when I was hanging with one of them. And I went in and I think I saw probably just a lot of kids I knew from band. I was over there and then it looked really interesting. And then I kept going after a few weeks. And then one day, I think it was Jasmine or a friend of hers invited me to go to the music program here. And stuff started to kick off more with the church. When I first came to this church, I wasn't like in a suit. I don't know what to expect here. The first few times I came here, it was just a regular day, and then I came to talk to Pastor Matt. When I came to talk to him, I talked to him about how I was selling the drug. I came and I put down $20 on the table, like this is what I made just yesterday, off of like a small run. It's not even my money, and I feel horrible about it. And then we had a little talk, and over time I came to realize some other things that I probably don't need this in my life as much as I thought I would need it. And then I came to more of the services, and then one day they did an altar call, and they were speaking about like if you're feeling trouble in your life and if you need this and you're feeling alone. And then I rose my hand and I came up. Things started to change. I didn't roll with the same people I used to sell drugs with, or people I buy from, people that buy from me. Drugs to church kids in like a span of a couple months. And it was a drastic change. I never thought I would be able to do that at all. In my family, I was able to do more. I was more active. I felt more when I was talking to my parents and my little brother. In all, it went from a drastic change within a year. It's been 2 years, been clean. God's presence is a lot better than drugs. Drugs, they just didn't do it for me. First Priority is probably the best place I've been to in church and at school, in general, just in general. For what I could tell somebody who doesn't know Jesus, I think that what I tell them is that it's worth it. It's always so worth it. If it can bring me out of a point in my life that I thought was just dulled out and miserable, then it could do the same for you.